भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय। Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami the Bhaktavinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Bodhisattva Ailis. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, chapter number 7, text number 33 to 35. We just have 33 on the board. Lord Krishna instructs Uddhava. Forgive me for giving class today. Kavichanda Swami looks a lot better than me sitting here. But some of the devotees asked that I at least give another class before the festival was over. So by the force, you have to tolerate me. Prithvi Vayu Akasham Apo Agnis Chandrama Ravi Kapato Jagara Sindhu Patango Marukrit Gajaha Prithvi Vayu Akasham Apo Ganesh Chadaram Ravi Kapato Jagraha Sindhu Pantango Marukrit Gajaha Prithvi Vayu Akasham Apo Ganesh Charam Ravi Kapato Jagraha Sindhu Patango Marukrit Gajaha Prithvi Vayu Akasham Apo Ganesh Charam Ravi Kapato Jagraha Sindhu Pantango Mukrit Ganjaha. There's two other verses here, so I'll read those also. Maruhar Harino Mina Pingala Kuraro Rakaha Kumari Sarakrita Sarapa Urna Nabi Supe Sakritit Etime Guravo Rajan Shatuvi Sati Ashritaha Shiksha Vitibya Ete Sam Ava Shiksham Uhatmatnaha. Translation: O king, I have taken shelter of 24 gurus who are as following. We think we have trouble with one guru. The earth, the air, the sky, the water, the fire, the moon, the sun, the pigeons, and the python. The sea, the moth, the honeybees, the elephant, the honey thief, the deer, the fish, the prostitute, Pingala, the kurara bird, and the chow, the young girl, the arrow maker, the serpent, the spider, the wasp. My dear king, by studying their activities, I have learned the science of the self. Repeat after me. O king, I have taken shelter of 24 gurus who are the following: the earth, the air, sky, water, fire, moon, sun, pigeon, and python. the sea, moth, honeybee, elephant, and the honey thief, the deer, the fish, the prostitute pingala, the kurara bird, and the child, the young girl, the arrow maker, the serpent, the spider, the wasp. My dear king, by studying their activities, I have learned the science of the self. That's a one-liner purport here. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The wasp is known as Supesa Kriti because it causes the insect that it kills to take a beautiful form in the next life. I'm going to read the purport just before this verse that clues us in with what is going on in this particular section of the Bhagavatam, especially in relationship to the Brahman, the Avadut, that King Yadu had saw this amazing personality who wasn't quite old, rather looking quite bewildered in the sense that the person seemed almost ghostly. Very strange behavior physically. But at the same time, Maharaj Yadu could understand that this was not just an ordinary person who was a fool or imbecile, that he had great knowledge. He seemed to be extremely detached. At the same time, was very actively moving around. And so there was some consideration, some question imposed upon him is, what is happening? Why are you experiencing this ecstasy? Why are you happy? Why are you oblivious to just normal things? And at the same time, why do you seem to have it together? Well, commonly you seem to be out of sync with what is happening in society. And so this this Avadut, he's explaining how he is so ecstatic, by how he's so attentive and learning from all kinds of people, all kinds of situations, all kinds of species of life, that they are educating him and giving him amazing knowledge. So from that knowledge, he has realization. From that realization, he has activities, actions of detachment, and of course, detached toward the mundane, but very attached to the internal, to the ultimate goals that this human body is designed for. The Brahmin said, this is text 32, the translation, "My dear king, with my intelligence, I have taken shelter of many spiritual masters. Having gained transcendental knowledge from them, I now wonder about the earth in a liberated condition. Please listen as I describe them to you." Purport. The word buddhi upasritaha in this verse indicates, just need to take this down, indicates that the Brahman's spiritual master did not directly speak to him. Instead, he learned from them by his intelligence. All living entities who are inimical to the Lord Krishna, all living entities who are inimical to Lord Krishna glorify useless material things, and they spend their lives in trying to lord it over. So Prabhupada is saying that his spiritual masters did not speak to him directly, but indirectly, he was getting so much purport of understanding. Thus, the conditioned souls try to increase their duration of life, as well as their fame and their beauty, by means of mundane religiosity, economic development, and gross sense gratification. King Yadu noticed that the saintly Avadut did not behave like that, did not behave ordinary. Therefore, the king was inquisitive to find out the actual situation of that Brahmana. In reply to the king, the saintly Brahmana states, quote, I do not consider the 24 elements of the physical world as objects of my sense gratification. And therefore, I don't consider accepting or rejecting them. Rather, I accept the material elements as my instructing spiritual masters. Thus, even though wandering through the material world, I am never bereft of service to the Guru. Taking shelter of steady intelligence, I travel about the earth, constantly engaged on the transcendental platform. By intelligence, I transcend useless desires. Read that again. By intelligence, I transcend useless desires, and my ultimate goal is the loving devotional service of the Lord. Now I shall explain to you my 24 spiritual masters. So what we just read is the Avadut explaining his 24 spiritual masters. And in his explanation and categorization, he's letting us see how one can learn from everything, everybody, every encounter, every relationship. And some of these spiritual masters we see were not just in the human form, or in some cases were not even considered to be auspicious or so favorable, like the python. When we want to learn, we want to try to see Krishna everywhere, then it means we're always learning and we're always looking to see, to understand, always eager to become. Like the Goswamis were always in the mood of where is Krishna? In the mood of looking, aspiring and anticipating more and higher association. Never complacent, never stagnant, never bored, never lacking service, never lacking chance to hear more about the Supreme Lord. Never minimizing the chance to associate, never minimizing the chance to engage in all aspects of Krishna Katha. They were eager to see, but also knowing that we have to have qualifications to see. This is the drishta versus the drasta. That we are usually trying to see, and we're saying in this festival that we should maintain this theme of trying to see Krishna in all things, trying to see Krishna everywhere, at all times. We're really trying to grasp hold a little better what is the Uttama Adhikari platform. We know we move from Kanisha to Madhyam to Uttama, but as we try to become something, we want to understand better what it's about and how is such behavior. What is the kind of achar and prachar? What is the type of action and speech? And what is the sadachar? What is the correct and healthy behavior connected with a particular level of consciousness? And so this seeing Krishna everywhere means that we are so eager to be and to associate that even with what may seem to be marginal, what may seem to be external, that we don't allow ourselves to accept that only. Yes, we are not to be in denial because we understand that Krishna does have these three aspects of his existence, the Bahiranga, the Tashta, and the Antaranga. But we also realize that it's really nothing but the Antaranga. There's nothing but the Prema. There's nothing but divine knowledge. There's nothing but divine relationship, divine association, and Sanatana, or divine eternal existence. We started off this festival, the welcoming and mentioning how Vishwanath Chakravarti explains, because we wanted to draw everyone more closer to our Damodar, Radha Damodar presence. You're here, they are the presiding deities. And as Kavi Chandra Maharaj mentioned, And he was traveling, how these deities have been involved in traveling more than any other Radha Krishna deities in the world, and actually are the most popular deities in the world in terms of the number of people they've given darshan. Look at all the places that it went. Well, let's, we have big a lot of devotees coming in India and other places, but in terms of just making themselves available, not waiting for people to come to see them, but going out. And so we were then sharing a little bit more about the Damodar Leela. We looked at three different aspects. Is that Maya Yasoda, Krishna became angry when she put him down and went to give attention to the milk that was boiling over. So first proposition of concern was that service is always important. First, let's do service, but then service is important. But third, let's do quality service. Because in the case of Maya Yasoda, Krishna was angry at first because he wanted another kind of service. He wanted still to be in her lap, sucking her breast milk. The other 2 points we mentioned as we go into the class is that the rope was always 2 inches too short. And so many times we talk about this aspect, and we're sharing it another way, about the importance of effort and mercy. So Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that the issue that's concerned here is that Krishna is staying the same place. He's the same Krishna. He's not becoming bigger. He's not running away, but the rope is too short. That it takes sufficient effort, mercy. So we have to try and continue in so many ways, but we have to be eager to get the mercy, and one without the other, there will be failure, or there will be weakness, disturbance, and disappointment. And so this is how we catch Krishna, that we have the sufficient, proper, correct service, proper service attitude, we have put forth the effort, and then with the effort, we get the mercy. So we read also from Bhagavad Gita, and we even shared, letting each of you read a verse, especially from the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and just how many ways that Krishna says he can be seen, he can be known, he can be accepted, he can be appreciated. And just a tremendous list of ways. Then today we're looking at how the Avadut is also giving us understanding of how he was able to have so many gurus, 24 gurus. It lets us become more attentive to the fact that learning is something that can always happen. And when we limit our learning, we limit our chance to see Krishna in all things and all times. When we limit our learning, we limit our ability to catch Krishna. When we limit our learning, we limit our ability to accept and allow Krishna to prove what he has declared, that as we surrender, he will reward us accordingly. And as we limit our learning, we limit our intensity. When you want to see something or someone, first you have to know that they're seeable, that they're available. Even in the mundane sense, we find some popular or great person, and someone says, I want to go to see that person. People sometimes stand in line, or they pay huge amounts to hear someone speak, see someone perform, and sometimes they get only a glimpse. Or someone famous dies, people go just to have a moment of darshan, of viewing them. And so seeing someone or something that's important becomes so much of an internal anxiety that I must also see. So people come to America and they want to see and experience Disneyland. They want to go here or there. They've heard about these things. So they're thinking about it, just as the great devotees of the Lord always thinking, or those who are becoming great devotees, always in anticipation. Krishna is there. Always excited. I want to see. I want to experience. I want the Lord to see me. And so I want to engage in proper effort that the Lord will take notice and the mercy will come and it will catch me and it will drown me and it will embrace me and it will protect me. And so seeing Krishna in everything and everywhere means a thing we've been talking about a lot. It means also less and less accepting the duality. When Uttara is being attacked by the Brahmastra weapon, and she is concerned, she is understanding that only Krishna, the supreme mystic Yogeshwara, can save her from this duality and the precariousness. And she cries out with great intensity, Pahe, Pahe, Mahayogin, Deva, Deva, Jagatpate, Nanyam Twamabilam Yase, Yatramata Paraspama. She cries out, you only can really eliminate and eradicate this duality, because there is danger and there is suffering. But you are not dangerous. And you do not make your devotees suffer unnecessarily. As we read so many of the wonderful verses yesterday, there were so many nice classes, the Samskara class, which really helped us to look at all the major samskaras and to understand a lot deeper why we do these. And part of the essence of that presentation was that everything that is to be done for Krishna. Everything that begins, is some beginning, is to be done ultimately for Krishna. Krishna is the beginning, is the middle, and the end. And so, and then when we're looking at the verses of how to read Prabhupada's books very prayerfully and mindfully, then we had that wonderful interactive exchange exercise of devotees picking different verses and reflecting prayerful mood, contemplative mood, and then trying to share what it meant for them as well as for the institution or the community. And there were these amazing verses. One person had the verse how Krishna was saying how he puts his devotees in often distress as a special way of sharing his above, special way that Krishna is available and is reciprocating. And so Krishna can even be seen in distress and anxiety. And we see, of course, Queen Kunti and many wonderful cases where the actual devotee of the Lord doesn't allow even what may normally be considered to be Maya to distract them from what they have to do. Chandamali Swami mentioned 2 days ago how when the bombing was happening in Calcutta, here, very, very dangerous situation, war, and people's lives are at risk, and how Prabhupada was seen as in an awesome way as Krishna's universal form. Even something as devastating as life-threatening situation to oneself or to others, Krishna's can also be seen there. In the Uddhava Gita, and this actually section of the Bhagavatam really talks about Krishna, who has arranged for this curse. The Yadu dynasty has been cursed. And Krishna is speaking to Uddhava. And he's telling Uddhava, because Uddhava is so dear to him, and Uddhava wants to leave. And Krishna is telling Uddhava how he is going to go, but Uddhava has some special work to do to remain. And Krishna tells Uddhava that you must see me in everything. Uddhava has his idea of what he wants to do at first. And Krishna is letting him know, you are very special, and you have very special work to do. Srila Prabhupada is very special. He has very special work to do. Whether he is physically here with us or not, he wants us to see and to carry out his instructions by constantly remembering what he has told us. In the Prabhupada Memory Series, there's one devotee who used to be a sannyas, and one point he was asking Prabhupada in the early days, he's very attached to Prabhupada, more attached in some ways to his body, perhaps one may think. And he, later that sannyas had trouble. What happened is that he asked Prabhupada at some point, and this is really early in the movement, when we really didn't think about this. Srila Prabhupada, what happens when you go, when you leave? Because the devotee had such a personal association with Prabhupada. He was his servant, Sri Sudama Vipa Maharaj. And he mentions how Prabhupada said, you must see me in my disciples. So we can see and experience Krishna through his great acharyas, these wonderful Mahajans and Shuddhidhars and Nityasiddhas. And we can see Guru through so many chances to associate in healthy sanghas. We see our guru, whoever our guru may be, we see our guru only in the physicality or only even in his own instructions, whether it's Vani or Vapu, then that is also limiting. We can only see Krishna in the Archa Vigraha. That is limiting. Yes, we come to get surcharge as we have this darshan with the Lord in the mandir. But we must carry that darshan in our mind, we must carry the mandir in our heart. And so Uddhava is being instructed, don't be too disturbed, Krishna is telling him. You have to do the necessary. You have to take up the mood of sannyas, renounce, and go into Bhadra ashram. You have a message to share and a life to live, to allow my own presence to live on, even though I will not be, I'm wrapping up my pastimes in this particular universe, but you remain for some time. Similar like when Krishna instructed the gopis, and he told him they must see him as the super soul. Now, not as Brahma Gyan, like the yogis who are trying to see Krishna as the super soul, and they're trying to become Krishna, they're trying to have the experience, often the experience over the sevya or the service, or over coming to the platform of Sharanagati or full surrender, and engage in all types of Mishra Bhakti. So here they were to see Krishna in super soul, but more in the madhurya, or more in the mood of seeing and thinking of one's lover all the time and feeling that the lover is there right in the heart. And we see Krishna, think of Krishna as super soul. We also reflect on how Krishna is in every person. We constantly remind you of our tenet of trying to reflect on helping with healthier community, is try to interact with every devotee in the spirit that your own success or failure of your spiritual life is wrapped up in how you interact with each particular devotee. Well, this is another way of trying to say, see your guru in everybody. Another way of trying to say, see the acharyas in everyone. See Krishna in everyone. And even if they don't deserve that, you see them like that so that you deserve what all you can receive by the blessings of not going into so much of a conscience of duality. Even if somebody else is acting even in an obnoxious way, you don't have to only allow your perception and your interaction to settle in on that level. Just as in the 24 gurus, one was learning from everything, even the prostitute. One was having chance to think of Krishna. And let me read this, because in the beginning of this chapter, I can wrap up in one paragraph, because it tells, the later chapter explains how each of these 24 gurus gives some lesson for one to internalize. From the earth, let's summarize it. From the earth, he learned how to be sober. From the two manifestations of earth, namely the mountain and the tree, he had learned respectivity, how to be respectful, how to serve others, and how to dedicate one's whole life to the benefit of others. Try to mindfully, as we read this, like in our class of mindful reading and prayerful, just try to tune in all these different aspects of how one can learn, how we can see Krishna, how we can learn. From the wind manifesting in the form of the vital air within the body, he learned how to be satisfied with merely keeping oneself alive. And from the external wind, he had learned how to remain uncontaminated by the body and the object of the senses. From the sky, he had learned how the soul which pervades all material substance is both invisible and imperceptible. And from the water, here he's learning from the sky, from the wind, from the earth. Never a time that we can be away from a chance to learn. And from the fire, he had learned how to devour all things without becoming dirty, and how to destroy all the inauspicious desires of those who make offenses, makes offerings, or make different offerings to others. He had also learned from the fire how the spirit soul enters into every body and gives illumination, how the birth and death of those who are embodied cannot be discerned. From the moon, the sun, the moon, the earth, the air, from the moon he learned how the material body undergoes growth and dwindling. From the sun, he had learned how to avoid entanglement, even while coming in contact with sense objects. And he also learned about the two different modes of perception based on seeing the real form of the soul and seeing false coverings. From the pigeon, you loving the pigeon? From the pigeon, he learned how to too much. See, he's learning something positive in terms of patience, perseverance, and different things from different entities. He's also learning from some negative things that are there, but not accepting the negativity because he wants to see Krishna. You want to see somebody, you don't get disturbed if you have to go a little far. You don't get too disturbed if you got to pay too much to see, because you consider, well, I want to see this entertainer, so if I have to pay $50 for a ticket, all right, let me pay because it's going to be worth it. I want to see this person. I may have to go go by 2 different trains, or I may have to catch a plane and travel for many hours, but I want to associate. I want to see them, and therefore I go. From the pigeon, he had learned how too much affection and excessive attachment are not good for one. This human body is the open door to liberation. But if one becomes attached to family life like the pigeon, one is compared to a person who has climbed up to a high place to fall down again. Never a time when Krishna is not there. Whether our situation is seemingly auspicious or inauspicious, never a time that what we do or what somebody else is doing or has done, that we can't somehow use it to become more Krishna conscious, to be more eager to get Krishna's shelter, protection, to get his love, to even be more eager to have deeper understanding. Sometimes difficulties, confusions, setbacks, they give us the greatest chance to be more mindful for the person who's undergoing some challenge. Sometimes we take many things for granted, and then someone is having a problem. Now there's a time for the mother, for the father, for the disciple, for the student to see, oh, how can I serve? What can I do better so that it will facilitate helping this person? What can I do better so it will remind this individual how much we are concerned? What can I do better so that it will allow me to be more careful in understanding how the mind and how the senses are so awesome, even more than we normally think, as we've been captured by them for many different lifetimes. What can we do so that even like in a war situation, as Prabhupada was, the bombs were dropping, and he saw this as Krishna's universal form. How can we carry out this instruction like Uddhava was receiving? Krishna told him, see me. Yes, Uddhava, I am leaving. I am ending a particular pastime. I will not be around you as before. I will not be available for the personal discussions and association. However, you must see me in everything. He didn't say you must see me in just a few special persons. You must see me only remembering what I told you. All of that's there. But he's saying you see me in everything. Krishna telling the gopis, so you will see me as the super soul, in such words. Everything has a purpose. Everything can be appreciated if we want to see. Let me read a few letters and a few references Prabhupada gives us. Here's one on Krishna being everywhere. Actually, Krishna is always, do you hear that word? Actually, Krishna is always guiding us through the super soul. But due to our forgetfulness, we do not understand that Krishna is friend everlasting. Your husband may disappoint you, your wife may disappoint you, your children may disappoint you, your guru may disappoint you, your own mind and intelligence surely will disappoint you, your body unequivocally will really disappoint you, but Govinda will not disappoint you. Radha Damodar, or your deities, the many places you've come, they will not disappoint you. As a matter of fact, even what you consider somebody else disappointing you is really also a way that Krishna is thinking about you. You may have a wonderful, we had this nice ceremony of this year, not looking so much at the novelty, looking more at perseverance and determination and revitalization. So instead of having matrimony of new couples, we honored those who've been married for 10 years. Next year, we'll do 20 and 30 years. We're talking to some of the devotees who have been married now for 28, 27, 30 years. Mother 20, I think 27 years. So we want to give more attention to those who have persevered, struggled, been successful in certain ways, because somehow whatever has happened or whatever is going on, they are still going on. And that's amazing. Like our wonderful entertainer was telling us yesterday that it's even wonderful to still be around. Prabhupada himself is still like that. We should not be even so distracted that someone leaves the shelter or the association, but how some people continue year after year, given that we are in the arena of sense gratification. Even if we have, say we have a really, really difficult husband, really, really difficult wife, or difficult children. Oh, how do we see that as Krishna? Well, we see, well, Krishna is so kind. He's given me a really difficult wife so that I can be really fixed in understanding the complexities in household life, the complexities in anything that is not so much more focused on Krishna, see the complexity of the difficulties that come with certain aspects of sense gratification. So it can help you to be mindful, do your best, and be even more renounced and detached. While you are serving that wonderful person, you can be even more detached and thinking of your real paramour, Krishna. Have even more reason to be letting the mind go into a deeper place in such ways. Yeah, you have difficult children, you can see, be even more fixed and think, this child must have been some associate of mine in the previous life. And this child has come back to teach me something very special. So let me make sure that I learn what I have to learn in such ways. And in many cases it is, because devotees are so unusual. And so many ways we serve together, we come back in different ways to work on trying to see what has to be fixed. I mean, really, this is what the marriage is. This is what all of relationships are. Really, your marriage is coming together to be able to associate, to see how to repair and to fix what has to be fixed before you're able to engage in the eternal romance. So you better get it fixed, fix it, make it work, and enjoy it while you can. You put Krishna in the center, then you enjoy. You enjoy the beauties of the experiences when you are having similar mindfulness, and you also enjoy when there's differences, because it also reminds you, well, we are bigger than just these bodies anyway. You realize when there's a problem, you realize, well, I'm bigger than this. My wife is bigger than this. You have problems with brahmacharis, associating with brahmacharis, and you realize, oh, so this is, brahmacharya is supposed to be renounced and simple and dedicated and also accepting so many things of Krishna's mercy. So what about that brahmacharya you associate with, who we have so much trouble with, you're trying to avoid him, or so much trouble with that he reminds you too much of yourself, or reminds you too much of what you don't want to think about, or sometimes is an interesting mirror in another way. So that austerity can also be, oh, Krishna, you are so kind. I was reading a little book the other day, and the title of it was, Thank You for Being Such a Pain. I saw that book. I was immediately attracted to it. You can thank someone. Boo, thank you. You are so wonderful. You are so amazing. You know? Sometimes you have someone who you disagree with on practically everything. Thank you for being such a way of helping me to look at myself in some ways that I never would. You know, someone who you have difficulty with gives you something very special that those you have similarities with cannot give you. I gave the example a couple of weeks ago. It's like in sports, you play tennis or something, you play some sports. If you're just associating with somebody who serves like you, who has very similar kind of mood, it doesn't create your skills as well as having to deal with someone who's very complex and do something different. Then you also get a chance to become more expert in what you do, because now you become a greater master. If you engage in some sports, you're a fighter or whatnot. So as you defeat someone or deal with someone who's more difficult, your own level goes up. You learn so much more. So we learn from those who we agree with. They can give us so much solace. we always need some people in our corner, as many as possible, to help us with a support system that allow us to be able to share our minds, Bhakti, and exchanges of love. We can reveal whatever's going on and feel that this person is concerned. And so Rupa Goswami explains the importance of Vaishnavas being able to share. Sometimes there's devotees who don't have one single devotee who they feel they can really let that devotee know, Prabhu, I am really in Maya. Prabhu, I haven't been able to chant 16 rounds in a few weeks. Prabhu, for the last couple of days, all I've been thinking about is those drugs I used to take. For the last month, I'm developing desire to smoke again. I'm doing everything possible, trying not to purchase a pack of cigarettes. Someone who we can share that with. Because these kind of thoughts are Madhusana, these are like demons. And one way to deal with the demon, a major way, it has to be exercised. And one of the major aspects of that is revelation, is exposure. So much of demonic possession hides and then infiltrates and tries to take over. So when we have these fears and anxieties and problems, we really have to have somebody to talk with. There's somebody to tell, Babu, can we talk for a while? Babu, I'm having huge trouble with my son. Babu, I really don't have much faith in my guru. I mean, I can't understand why he does like that. I can't understand why he always seems to be on my case. I really believe he just doesn't like me. Just doesn't like the way I look. Babu, can you help me? There needs to be some way that you can share this so that you can get some feedback, get some help, get some clarification. The clarification may be the devotee says, Boo, I'm really glad we're having this discussion because I don't think Guru likes me either. Let's figure this one out. Maybe we got the wrong Guru. Maybe he doesn't like us because of something that's going on that we're doing. Let's go find out. Let's talk about this a little bit. We bring somebody else in. The other person says, I had the same problem. And I had it twice as bad. But I realized that Guru was maybe singling me out to help push me faster. And so he really was seemingly being more attacking about what I did or what I shouldn't do. Community is so important that we have to get more out of being together than what we can get by ourselves. If we can't get in our communities more out of what is necessary for our spiritual growth than what we can get on our own, then our communities are so pseudo-community because there's no need for it. There's no need for us to associate if somehow we can't remind each other or get something out of it more than we can get by ourselves. Otherwise, we could all just be bhajanandis, or we just have our sacred comfort zone and go on. But we don't understand how much we are or are not Krishna conscious until we have the confrontation. Remember in the welcoming, I mentioned, I like to study people. It's just a habit, I guess. But I was studying how it's traveling around, all these countries and going to so many festivals. I'm like a festival junkie. I'm going this Rath Yatra, this conference, and, just one after another after another. But I did notice, and I notice this in Mayapur each year, is that these festivals are major times when devotees get rejuvenated, devotees become more reflective, when devotees look a little closer at their past and sometimes look closer at their future. But it's also times that devotees often feel more remorsefulness, sadness, and anxiety. And I gave the example just like, a school reunion. Some people are very glad to come back to the reunion because now since they saw their class 20 years ago, now they have a wonderful job, they have a big mansion, and now they've got a lot of stocks and bonds, and they're glad to come back and let people know, I am doing wonderful. I got 2 really beautiful children. Look, here their pictures are. Somebody else who, 20 years, 35 years have gone by, and they've been divorced 3 or 4 times, and, their children have run away, and so many things. Husband hates them. They hate the husband. They're in divorce court right now. And so they even feel like they shouldn't come, or they come and they feel very disturbed in so many ways. Notice your own minds when you have festivals, wherever you go, or even here, and notice how many things go on. You get happy sometimes about somebody's growth, happy about somebody, oh, nice seminar, nice workshop, nice class, nice kirtan. At the same time, your mind goes, oh, don't give him the microphone. That guy doesn't know when to stop chanting. Oh, let me get out of here. That devotee giving the class, what does he know? That girl giving the class, what can she tell me? She's Maya Devi anyway. What can she tell me? She doesn't know anything. After all, the scripture says women are less intelligent. So I am very intelligent, and therefore I shouldn't be associating and listening to something or somebody who's less intelligent. So therefore, I should get out of here. Only less intelligent people want to hear somebody who's less intelligent. So I have great intelligence. Let me get out of here. So the mind goes to all kinds of things. Scripture says you should not hear a woman's voice. Woman leading kirtan. Let me get out of here fast. I knew all along. I heard Girinagara is a crazy place, outrageous. 3 sannyasis here and got some woman giving kirtan. Let me get out of here. So the mind may go through all kinds of different reflections, and that's good because that gives us a chance to look and to consider what are we getting from a community association, what are we expecting, and what are we needing. We have our special needs, and also the community has its needs. Only when both are in harmony do we have a healthy situation. Prabhupada says, listen to this very emphatic statement. The more you make advancement in Krishna consciousness, you will see Krishna everywhere. Not only on the bank of the river, but also on the streets, the trees, the lampposts, and so on. Let me read that again. This is a lecture, it's a letter, Prabhupada, 1967 in San Francisco. It's a letter to Raja Ram, 1967, December 21st, San Francisco. Raja Ram. The more you make advancement in Krishna consciousness, that means the kirtaniya doesn't have to have a most beautiful voice for you to appreciate the kirtan. That's nice. It surely adds to it. The person doesn't even have to be knowing so much, but if they're serious, they just read the purport. You have chance to learn something because the purport is Prabhupada and Vishwanath Chakravarti and Baladev Vijayabhusan and so many others. And even if the person is trying, and you can think, wow, it's wonderful that Krishna is so kind. Even this dodo can try to give a class. How merciful that Krishna is. Huh? Somebody's trying to sing, and they really sing like a frog. You can think, but how wonderful that even this person is crying out for Krishna. That frog voice is his cry, it's crying for Krishna. How Krishna is available for everyone in so many ways. The more you see, and I'm probably explaining this, the more you see like that, you know you are making advancement in Krishna consciousness. Actually, there is nothing but Krishna all around us. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita. He is the taste of water. I was going to speak on that today, thinking everyone was still going to be thirsty, but we had the break. I was going to use that as a theme. They were so thirsty. I was thinking, let me just speak about Krishna, the taste of water. How much we all want some water, some food. And to think if we could have that kind of intensity and that greed for Krishna, how much our life would be very, very sublime. And this is the mood of the Gopas and the Gopis. Such intensity. Even when Krishna is there sometimes, and just thinking that he will not be around, and that they are experiencing such amazing altered states of awareness. He is the taste of water, the light of the moon, the fragrance of the flower, the light of the sun, sound of sky, the power, strong. We read all of this the other day, the welcoming. Prabhupada goes on, every stage of life we can avoid the sunlight, the moonlight, the fragrance of the flower. Prabhupada says we cannot avoid it. But one has to learn it, that there is Krishna in all of these varieties. Each time your child gives you a headache, each time you get ready to argue with your husband or your wife, and the negative aspect, think, oh, Krishna is appearing to me in a certain way. Krishna is reminding me a certain way. Huh? Just as the Avadut was learning from the pigeon, learning how not to be so attached. And then when something beautiful is happening, Krishna is appealing to me, helping me, coming forth this particular way. Simply always chant Hare Krishna. It is simple by the influence of Maya, we forget the relationship of Krishna with everything that be. The mantra you gave us yesterday, what is it? We recall the mantra? Say it for us again. Sri Hari. The holy name of Sri Hari is surely all that be. Yesterday we did an interesting exercise and we were chanting in response. The holy name of Sri Hari is surely all that be. It's amazing how the synchronicity of all of these courses and presentations emphasizing that all we really have is Krishna. But Krishna is everything. And Krishna is available everywhere and everything. If we are available and want to see him and experience him in everything and everywhere. Prabhupada says, I am very glad Krishna is helping you. Or the Krishna says, simply always chant. Chant helps his devotee to see Krishna everywhere. Here's another letter from Sri Naranjan Swami, because he was a brahmachari then. Los Angeles, 29th, 1972. If you are always remembering him by your activities and seeing Krishna everywhere, even in the heart of the demonic persons, then anger will never overcome you, being purified of all false pride. So even in demonic persons, that we should also have some kind of Krishna conscious reflection. Here's one from the Veda base about artists. Seeing Krishna everywhere is not difficult. For example, suppose you are thirsty and you drink some water. When you drink, you feel much pleasure. Didn't we feel pleasure today? Those who hadn't eaten anything or drunk anything? It's more difficult not drinking, isn't it? Eating is a problem, but not drinking, especially we were active and you were chanting and the sun was out and you're moving around and you'll go all day. And sometimes when someone is breaking the fast from drinking, you're drinking so fast and water is coming all down, it's jumping on you, and you get a little choked. You just can't get it down fast enough. So we are thinking Krishna can even be appreciated as water, because now it's a little more complicated because water is becoming very dear. People have to buy water now, and in the near future there'll even be some wars and strategies, conflicts from country to country due to war. The water table is going down so much, so this is a serious issue. But think of something so accessible as air and water. When you drink, you feel so much pleasure. And Krishna is the reservoir of pleasure. So that pleasure you feel by drinking water, that is Krishna. Krishna states this in Bhagavad Gita, of course, 7:8. Rasoham apsu kanteya. I am the taste of water. So many opportunities are there that we can try to access Krishna.
So, any
Hare Krishna,
question?
Babuji.
Haribo, any question?
Yadava Pranam.
Any question? Class?
King Kusha, how are you, Prabhu?
Lots
Any
of
question,
nectar.
please?
King Kusha, are you there?
Yes,
Entdecke Herbstoutfits, die nur zu dir passen.
Mother Taruni, Hare Krishna. You are asking which class is this? This is Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th Canto, chapter 7, text 33 to 35. Can you hear me, please, Mother Taruni? Kindly unmute yourself.
Yes,
put,
Hare Krishna, my
yes,
obeisance.
Hare Krishna,
Could you
11
repeat,
canto.
please?
Let me type it down for you on the platform. Srimad Bhagavatam 11, 7, 33 to 35.
Right.
It down for you. Can you see it?
Thank you.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
King Kusha Prabhu,
Yeah, Kaveh.
where can I get all the lectures of Bhajita Swami Maharaj to be listening to?
When you attain perfection, I will send you some. It's for pure devotees. Are you stable in Krishna consciousness?
You don't want to say falling soul like me. Okay, pure
No.
devotees.
In this Kali Yoga, Krishna consciousness now is very expensive. You have to work hard to deserve it. Radakund.
Hare Krishna.
Radakund, okay, we get your question, your comments, very nice. Now we want some people to say, what do you hear from Guru? Me, what I hear is that there is nothing around us but Krishna. Sadhya Prabhu, what do you hear, please?
Well, that's what I was going to say, but sometimes it's really hard and difficult to accept the Krishna factor because when it comes to so big and
we are
so
still
painful,
talking. What do you hear Guru say before we comment?
Well, what I heard was that we can learn from anything, from anyone, from all circumstances. That if even somebody has the voice of a frog and leading the kirtan, we can still say that, oh, this person has a very bad voice, but he's still eager to sing to please Krishna. So that's
Prabhu Acharya Purandara, can you unmute? What do you hear from Guru Maharaj, please? George Amega?
Kusha Prabhu.
Oh, Kavi, okay, what do you hear?
No, it's not about what I hear. I say I need those links, Prabhu.
We are in class. After the class, we'll talk about this, please. We want to know if devotees listen to the class or they were not listening to the class. Prabhu Puranjana, please. Acharya Purandara. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
My obeisance. How are you, Maharaj?
Krishna is everywhere. Wherever you look is Krishna.
We are surviving by your mercy.
Every situation is Krishna.
Yes.
Every situation is Krishna.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Everything around us is Krishna.
Yeah.
So you be very mindful.
Yeah, you were listening. Even when a devotee is offending us, it's Krishna who's offending us and pushing us. Yes, everything is Krishna. Yes, that's what I said. Everything. When a devotee is provoking you, it's Krishna making you to make more advancement. That's how I say it. So we shouldn't only see Mahaprasadam and good things as Krishna. Devotees offending you is also Krishna testing you. That's Krishna consciousness. Bhakti George Amega, unmute. Chaitanya Bhagavat, unmute. What do you hear? Gayatri, what did you hear? I learned it doesn't matter who or what we have to always have a positive mind to set. Okay, that's Gayatri. That's correct. It doesn't matter who or what we have to always have a positive mind set to learn something good. Good. Constance, Radakund, Stephen, hello. Unmute. There's nobody. If you don't unmute, means you were not paying attention when Guru was speaking. We try to play one of these lectures once a week. We have up to 2,000.
Hey,
you can listen to.
Send us some more.
It's only for sannyasis. Are you a sannyas?
King Kusha.
Mother Taruni, do you want to comment? Do you hear something from Guru Maharaj? What did you hear, please? I hear something also when he said, the holy name of Sri Hari is all that is. Anybody hear that? Moravraj Taruni said, lovely to hear Bhakti Swami always had speak about topics that are like taboo sometimes. So he always opens our mind to improve ourselves. Yes, exactly. He does that. That's why sometimes we choose one of the lectures to bring devotees back to their senses, not to go astray. Because sometimes we love his chastisements. Only chastisement can talk to Africans. Our head is too hard. Without chastisement, they enter. Coconut head. That's true. No pampering, too much pampering. We don't know that one. You have to shout and scream, then we get you. Yes, sir.
So Kusha Babu, why Africans are like that? Why are we like that?
That's how Krishna made it to be, because you know that in the Battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna was provoking Arjuna to get angry, to fight. So yes. Krishna also have to make Africans like that, to make people get angry, to scream. Everything is Krishna. Everything is Krishna. Anger also Krishna. Stubbornness is also Krishna. Coconut head also Krishna. Everything around all is Krishna. So Krishna is playing his game. All everything is Krishna's rasa. He's enjoying all the things, you know.
So what about if a devotee now go and steal and say it's Krishna? What do you think about that?
Krishna is the cause of all causes according to Bhagavad Gita. A devotee can only steal when it is in your karma. Then Krishna, through the Paramatma, would lead you where you go and steal and pay back that karma, where they deal with you and beat you mercilessly or jail you. So you clear yourself from the karma. It's like that.
I think I also at one point heard Maharaj say that, like, if you're having any sort of difficult relationship, you can also learn from that the ultimate relationship actually is supposed to be between me and Krishna.
Yes.
You know, my father can disappoint me, my wife can disappoint me.
He even mentioned that even your guru can disappoint you.
Even your guru. Yes, even your guru can disappoint you.
So sometimes when some gurus speak as if they are Krishna, unfallible, it doesn't work. It's even guru can disappoint you, only Krishna can never, and the holy name cannot disappoint you. So when somebody says, don't listen to this, don't listen to this, today's lecture is about Avaduta with 24 gurus. The python, the snakes, the sun, the water, the air. Everybody, Avaduta learn about them from every of the 24 gurus, not only one guru. Yeah. So today you will hear some people speaking as if without them you can't go back to Godhead. Says who? Who's saying that? Only Krishna. He mentioned one Maharaj in the early days that asked Prabhupada, what do we do when you are gone? Prabhupada said, you see me on my disciples. Anybody heard that?
Yeah, you see me in my disciples.
So you see Krishna, Prabhupada, through the devotees, not only one person, because he's your guru. All devotees, you see Krishna and your guru in them to make advancement.
Yeah. Somebody
posts on the chat room, but such a mega. It is raining here heavily. That's not what Guru said, though. Guru didn't say it's raining heavily. George, he asked you, what do you hear Guru say? What is raining in Ghana?
Maybe Krishna is one causing the rain in Ghana now.
So you were only hearing rain when Guru was speaking. Now, wow, this boy, George. Maybe smarter.
Who is the grandmaster? Grandmaster, please comment. Open your.
Sound like my kids. I've learned to be a bit more patient and tolerating with my kids by remembering it's Krishna testing my patience through them. Of course.
Yes.
If you hit them, you're committing Krishna, Gopal, and Gopi's apparat.
Yeah.
You don't beat children. Krishna is testing you. A mother is caring and loving and patient. No matter what
Babu,
you don't.
Babu, in Africa, we when children do wrong thing, we spat them or we beat them. In only America, they don't do that one, no.
Not only America, in the Western world, if you do it, you're going to prison.
That is Western world, but in Africa here, when your children misbehave, you beat them. It's only when they reach 18 years. When they reach 18 years, Or maybe now, because of modern age, when they reach 14, 15, you can be made friend with them. But when they are still young, you have to train them out from the path by some cane.
There is how to train a child, not that you put fear in them, they become fearful in life. Anything
It's
they
not
want
like
to
that.
do because you are around, they are scared to do it, they don't know your reaction, they become fearful. You know. But Guru did not mention that.
No, it's not everything that is cane. You understand?
So
but there are some
what do you
things.
hear that Guru said?
Me?
You.
You know, I came late now.
When you came, what do you hear? I know when you came.
He was talking about the taste of water, that nowadays they are selling water, you know. And when he was mentioning about that, and he quoted Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says the taste of the water.
He was mentioning that time he was saying that there will be war in the future because of water, ordinary water, because there are so much droughts in the world. And it's already happening. In Nigeria, the Fulani herdsmen are leaving the north to south because of droughts. No grass for their cows, grazing. So water in Ethiopia, Egypt and Ethiopia are fighting because of the Ethiopian dam. Water is already causing war. So things are happening. You have to grab your Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam daily.
And when Maharaj was saying that, when Maharaj was mentioning that, I was thinking in my head. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking in my head because I said in the olden days, water was a natural resource that people go to the river to get. But now people have industrialized water that even anywhere in the world now, you cannot drink water. You cannot drink water from anywhere, but you have to buy water to drink. So I was thinking now that they have polluted the air also, in the future we may be buying oxygen. Those things was ringing in my head when Maharaj was mentioning that.
Yeah, of course, that's why in Europe, for example, they're talking about green climate change to stop the pollution, because in China already, they year round they wear mask. Like now we wear for coronavirus. In China, they wear mask every day. Pollution, you won't see the sky, you won't see sun, you won't see nothing, only smoke. So the climate change is the heavy destroyers are America, China, Germany, Russia. They have big equipment, machineries, industries. So the air, they are polluting so much. Even they're not trying, in Germany yesterday, they announced a company has produced smokeless fuel for airlines. Now they use kerosene, it gives smoke when plane is going on the air. Now they form ecological fuel for the fuel. We start production next year in Germany. So all they are doing is just to make sure that there's no much pollution, to reduce the pollution of the air. Let's see how it goes. So
yes, if they don't do that.
What is it?
I said electric cars.
Yes, electric car also, yes. So all these things are measures to reduce pollution.
Yeah, because if they don't check it now, because the way it's going, then in the future there will not be pure air for people to breathe. Then people will start selling oxygen.
Yes, now if you know how they do it is that if you live in a country, like now you pay tax, you pay electric bill, you pay water bill, you also have to pay air bill for breathing the air. The way they give you your house bill, light bill, electric bill, also air bill, you have to pay. If you don't pay, they lock you up. And even when they lock you up, you are still breathing the air there. Your bill is still accumulating. You have to pay when you come out. If you don't pay, they put you in the government industry or farm where you have to work as payment for breathing the air. All these things are already planned down. There's a big farm for food, agricultural farm, poultry farm, animal farm, or factories. You work there free of charge, no payment. Your payment is the air you are breathing. That's it. So Kali Yoga is getting worse by the day.
Gita Nagri is like heavenly, it's like Vaikuntha, because even if you travel to, let's say you go to New York City and you're driving back to a place like Gita Nagri, as you're driving, the air is different. I mean, the air is kind of unique. And then when you are like maybe just 4 or 5 miles away from Gitanagri, the air is completely different. So refreshing. I don't know how best to describe it until one feels it himself or herself. But the air in the cities is not the same as the air in the countryside.
It's because don't you have
Yes.
forests around the temple?
Yes, yes.
It's the forest now, it's nature. That
Yes,
is
it's very natural.
that is bio,
Very, very
bio
fresh.
air. It's like
Yes.
when you go to Africa in the villages, they have forests, rivers, the
Yeah.
air is different. It's more
Yeah.
pure than
Yeah.
in the city. It's normal. Okay, we thank you everybody for coming for today. Tomorrow,
Thank you
Shiva's
so much.
Prabhu will speak.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hello.
Haribu.
Hare.
King Kuja.
Yeah. Pure
King Kuja.
devotee. Yes.
King Kuja.
Yes.
Please, I'm using this thing by Eto.
Hey, Kave.
Yes, Prof.